I want to explain why I think the fight against sexism, which the Harvey Weinstein sexual abuse revelations are brought out, are absolutely key in fighting repression and all reaction. Obviously, it's what the conservative capitalists wanted. I've just prepared a document explaining this. I want to elaborate a bit more, go into more detail, get a spoken word out to agitate common against the capitalist system that's breeding all this degeneracy, sexism, racism, etc., degeneracy, nuclear suicide, fascism, etc. The conservative capitalists were getting, as Peter Lavelle said in Crosstalk on the Russia Today, for doing, they're going back on liberal establishment for trying to do Trump up for his misogynistic comments in the run up to the 2016 presidential elections. But what this has done is strengthened tens of thousands of women to fight their oppression in Britain, in France, in the United States. Been building up for years. You had the 2014, 13 and 14 demonstrate 50 countries against the idea of treating women as sluts. There's been anti-rape movements in India, feminist movements in Afghanistan. Rape now, 16 or under now is called statutory rape. In Saudi Arabia, women have been going to Bahrain to get more freedom with boyfriends, and they've had the money so they concede it. But then after Trump, you had the strike in 40 or 50 countries, the big demonstration of women against him, days after his inauguration. But this is a turning point. Because of the splits in the ruling class, it's given confidence and the anger of the middle and working class women. And the middle class women could say nothing in Hollywood because of the power of the capitalist class to oppress them. Again, there comes the fight back. And this is the sign of the revolutionary wave coming. The anger of the masses have had enough of deep poverty, the march of austerity, the march of sexism and racism is a sign of what's to come. And this is why they're going to have to get reformed and do the right wing before the revolution spreads and the radicalisation which could lead to that. But there's dangerous tendencies. There's a polarisation and big gigantic class battles between the forces of radicalisation and the forces of reaction. This is a good example of the Dutch elections. The leader of the Dutch fascist Goebbels of the Dutch Fascist Freedom Party wanted to ban the Quran, close all the mosques and deport the Muslims out of Holland. Freedom Party became the second largest party. But because the fascists have been challenged in France and the politics of hope have won out, but certainly because of Jean-Luc Mélenchon and the Bowers or whatever it is, he got 6 million votes in the 2000 made in the first round April 2017 presidential election this year. Le Pen got 6.6 million, so it became very close. In the parliamentary election, the Bowers got 17 seats, the fascists got 7 or 8. So the unbearables beat the fascists by 5 million votes. That's around 2 million. The unbearables had 7 million votes. In Austria, you've got people talking about nuclear war in terms of the Trump supporters and the irrationality of that. In Austria, the Social Democrats have come back because of the threat of faction and the right-wing popularists. They've gone better than they thought. They're 26% behind the fascist Freedom Party. But the ruling class want to carry out massive austerity. That's what's running out with the fascists. In order to do it. Very dangerous gamble. Last time they encouraged with the Freedom Party, the People's Party. There's the biggest demonstration in Austrian history. The school students led the mass strikes and protests. And the railway workers came out and strike in solidarity, the fascists entering government. But they want to carry out austerity. The last time they did that, the Freedom Party went for the 1999 general election of 26% to 10%, they lost 800,000 votes. But it's essential that we have mass protests against the fascists. We're not going to put up with this. We're not going to put up with more austerity. We're not going to put up with more cuts. Get on the streets and organise. Because if they get away with other things, they've got to attack the working class and they might take all your democratic rights away. You couldn't do it in 2000 because there was a mass resistance. But never... I think also... Catalonia is an interesting process. It's the key to Europe. key to the world. Why? That it was when the global referendum with the repression of the Spanish state over the right to vote for referendum, or would become independent. But as soon as the general strike was organised after the police repression, 2 days later, the capital emergency was procrastinated. Because the general strike, they're finding what tragically called the permanent revolution unfolding. That is, the fight for genuine self-determination can only, which they established in Western Europe, the nation states, by overthrowing the aristocratic overlords, can only be carried out by socialist stats, because they fear the working class more than they fear the Spanish capitalists. But if the Spanish capitalists have the funding now to go further, but that's the treachery of the capitalist elements. The capitalist democratic has returned with the socialist has to overthrow capitalism. That's the only way you learn the foreign capital over exploiting your country. And it has that dynamic. I say in Britain, there's a civil war going on in the ruling class because there's a lot of money at stake in the full loss of the single market. There's EU competitive capitalists and other competitors. Also, there are liabilities of all the cutbacks. There could be revolutionary disturbance, particularly on the radicalisation, and they're going to whip up the hatred against this government and get them housed. And they're going to, they're going to be between left social democracy and right-wing populism. I think, who knows? They're going to try and undermine both if they can. But they're either Labour victory, but they're going to make sure they don't get anywhere near power now. They're going to make sure that while there might be pressure on the change because of stuff could getting the majority, that could be part of the manoeuvring that's going on. But with all this information about the cutbacks, the fact that people are dying with the benefits cuts, what we can begin to do is will the mass hatred against the ruling class, because Marx and Lenin said the conditions of the ruling class, the stimulants of the ruling class fighting each other, exposing each other, but not the revolutionary hatred of the working in the middle class. Despite the danger of factional nuclear war, there's radicalisation in a whole number of countries, and if it goes down that road, there's going to be mass upheavals and millions of billions don't want that sort of situation. There's plenty of options to build the mass revolutionary parties of the future. Carry on the struggle.